This was supposed to be an easy win. We just flipped this golf course condo and we're expecting to make a $75,000 profit. However, things didn't quite go according to plan. This place is clean. It's a 3-bed, 3-bath in a phenomenal area of town. I honestly thought this deal was a no-brainer. Unfortunately, there were a few factors that absolutely wrecked this deal. If you are new to the channel, I buy a lot of different houses. Some of them are easy flips, other ones are huge renovations, and you never know what surprises we're gonna get into next. So make sure you hit that subscribe button because I show you everything from the wins, I show you the losses, and there's always something to learn, or at the very least, you'll be entertained. As I'm walking up to the front door, I'm just passing through this front little courtyard area, and I can't stress it enough on how shocked I am of the outcome of this house and this deal in general, because it's in such an amazing area. So this place was honestly pretty spotless. I would have moved into this house the day we bought it. Like, that's how clean it was. So on the front end, when we bought this place, we were anticipating putting around $30,000 to $40,000 into it. Just a basic cosmetic facelift. Things like carpet, paint, faucets, fixtures, lightings, things like that. And on the back end, we were projecting a price of $700,000. And actually that was our conservative number of what we thought we could sell it for. We even thought we might even be able to get a little higher, up to maybe $725,000 or even $730,000 on the back end. There was literally a comp just a few houses down that sold for $700,000. It was a little bit smaller, only had 2 bedrooms versus our 3, also clean and dated, same neighborhood, same HOA, on the golf course like we are. I mean, same year built, everything. So that comp basically solidified the value that I had just mentioned to you guys. So my logic on here was, okay, same neighborhood, we've got more square footage, we're gonna actually do some upgrades to the property, so we'll actually be a little bit nicer when we hit the market. So we should have no problem hitting this $700,000 mark. But something happened that we didn't really anticipate, and it literally changed everything about this deal. So let me start by breaking down a timeline for you guys, so hopefully this will all make sense. We went into contract to buy this property at the beginning of summer. Right at the beginning of June, we had a closing date set for the end of June, which is pretty typical, roughly a 30-day close. And that would have put our construction crews in here in July, getting started on the renovations. Ideally, we would finish the renovations in July and then be on the market listed for sale in August. Literally perfect timing. But unfortunately, that is not what took place. So the sellers actually ended up needing some extra time in the home post-closing. They really needed a rent back for a couple months after closing so they could find their next place. So even though we had funded and closed the deal at the end of June, the sellers didn't vacate the property until the end of August. And of course, this is something we agreed to, no wrongdoing on the seller's part. We liked the deal, we loved the house, they were nice folks, so we said yes, no big deal, right? Well, during those couple of extra months while the sellers were still living in the house, the market actually took a pretty drastic shift, especially in this particular area and neighborhood. Simultaneously, the condo market started to kind of go into a bit of a slump as well. And at that point, we saw both of these basically, not only the real estate market starting to go down, but the condo market also starting to tank a bit. We knew our profits on this deal were going to be affected, but fast forward to today, and I'm still slightly in shock of what actually took place. So once the sellers finally vacated the property at the end of August, we knew that time was of the essence because we were starting to head into fall and basically going into the shoulder season of our market, basically. We got our construction team in here immediately so we could start on the cosmetic renovations. And as you can see, we didn't go crazy. Like, this is the original kitchen here. We did do some new stainless steel appliances. We did carpet throughout, as you can probably see, all new paint as well, etc., etc. Just, again, basic things, but the place looks nice. So come October, the work had been completed and we're ready to get this thing listed and on the market. And what we ended up doing is actually listing it well below where we were originally planning on selling it. Our hopes were to, spark basically a frenzy of activity and hopefully get this thing sold quickly. and off our books. Like I mentioned, we previously were thinking about listing this thing and selling it at $700,000, and we were very convinced that that was a conservative number. So we ended up listing it at $675,000. Obviously, that's $25,000 below our original conservative number that we assigned to this deal. We listed it and there were crickets. So 3 weeks go by and there's no activity. So we decide to do a price drop, and we actually do a price drop to $650,000. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, $650? That is an absolute phenomenal deal for this property. There's no way this thing doesn't sell. It's gonna fly off the shelves. Yeah, we got a little bit of activity, showings picked up a little, but again, no offers. 3 weeks later, we're sitting there, nothing's taking place. We do another price drop. We drop it to $625,000. So that price drop ended up spurring a little bit of activity again, some showings, but again, showings, but no offers. I'm like going, this is insane. Like, we have price drop, price drop, price drop. You know, we give it a few weeks, still nothing, and we do our fourth price drop and we take it all the way down to $599,000. Yeah, that's a gut punch. Think about it. We were originally at $700, thinking we're gonna sell this place for. We're now at $599,000. $100,000 below what we were originally thinking. I'm scratching my head. My stomach hurts. I'm thinking this is insane. Long story short, $599,000 number did spark quite a bit of activity. Showings picked up. Thankfully, we received an offer. Since then, we've accepted that offer and we're now pending at $580,000. Notice, no smile. Yeah, that stings. That's $120,000 below what I originally thought this place would sell for. So pretty brutal. So there's obviously a few different lessons that we can learn from that we're gonna go through. And also I will get into the overall numbers on this deal, including what we purchased it for, so you can actually understand where we stand on this deal. But I also just wanted to show you the backyard and the setting on this thing, because I think I'm still in shock just how cheap we're selling this thing. Beautiful golf course, right on the green here. Pond out back. It's just, yeah, shocking. So what I did realize was, man, we basically just ran into the perfect storm on this thing. There were basically multiple factors that hit us all at once. The first thing was listing the property during what we call a shoulder season. In our market, that is fall and then going into winter. It's basically right after our hot summer selling season. Things start to taper off into the fall, and then down into winter, it gets even slower and slower. And then after winter, things tend to pick back up come spring, and then we have our hot summer selling season again. Now, I know that, and I'm always very cautious of this, but based on our initial numbers, what I showed you earlier, I thought there was plenty of room to run on this deal and plenty of margin to still be okay and still list in that shoulder season. But the shoulder season wasn't the only thing that went wrong on this deal. There were two other things that happened. So the overall market started to cool off like normal, late summer into early fall, and then it turned out to even be slower than normal. And on top of that, the condo market in general started to take a nosedive as well. So it wasn't just the general real estate market, it was the general real estate market started to cool, plus condos in general really started taking nosedive, as I said. The one factor that we did have some control over was the rent back. When the sellers asked for a 60-day window to stay in the home after closing, I should have pushed back. We probably could have settled on 30 days, and 30 days can make a big difference, especially when the market is shifting. So this outcome potentially could have been quite a bit different, because if we would have negotiated a 30-day rent back instead of a 60-day rent back, we would have been listing the property instead of in October, we would have been listing it in September, which is still kind of right at the tail end of summer and possibly could have still hit that hot selling season. So in my opinion, that one decision to allow that extended rent back ended up burning us in the long run. All right, so let's talk on final numbers on this deal. Earlier, I mentioned our projected ARV. We originally had it conservatively at $700,000. Potentially more, right? Our renovation budget going in was anywhere between $30,000 and $40,000, depending on how far we went. with the renovations and whatnot. Thankfully, we were able to keep tight to that, and we actually kept our budget right to $30,000, which is great. And now we're pending at $580,000, and here's where it gets painful. We bought this property for $550,000. Let's run some math here. Buying at $550, putting in $30,000 into it, that puts us into it for $580, and we're now selling it for $580. On paper, and not fully understanding the expenses, that might sound like a break even, but anytime you're selling real estate, there's obviously other costs that go into consideration. We still have to take into consideration real estate commissions, closing costs, carry costs, etc. So at the end of the day, I think we're probably gonna be looking at anywhere from a $30,000 to $40,000 loss on this condo here. I've lost money on deals before, never on one like this where it just seemed like such an easy deal. It didn't feel risky, it felt like a sure thing. Easy, clean, straightforward, down the fairway, no pun intended. The market shifted on us and so did the numbers. Now we're taking a pretty big, ugly loss. So the lessons I'm taking away from this are three. One, timing matters, which I know. You always gotta try to avoid selling during your market slow times and your slow seasons if you can. Number two, limit long rent backs if possible. And that's just timing in general. So whether it's a rent back or you're dragging your feet to get the renovations completed, that stuff matters big times. Number three is understanding that different market segments behave differently. Just because the overall real estate market is doing good, it doesn't mean that condos are gonna be doing well. It doesn't mean that manufactured homes are gonna be doing well. So pay close attention to the type of product you are buying so that you don't get burned. If any of that helped, or maybe you learned something, give me a like, drop me a comment, and hit that subscribe button. Oh, also, if you guys wanna check out a super cool property I'm working on, this thing's got a lot of twists and turns to it, then check out this video right here. It's getting a ton of views, and I guarantee you guys will like it too. All right, we'll see you on the next one. See ya.